All right, everybody. Hello, welcome. Thanks for bearing with us here. And then I think we're looking good, so we'll go ahead and get started. But can I just get a thumbs up from someone on Zoom? Can you hear us? Okay, we got some thumbs up. Perfect. All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you all for being here. So we can go ahead and call to order at 7:06 p.m. For the meeting notes. So yeah, definitely welcome in. Wish we didn't always seem to have the horrible rainy weather on our meeting nights, but it is what it is. It was nice this morning, but hey, this is what we have to deal with. So yeah, welcome to May. So just a little piece of housekeeping. We will, unfortunately, everybody's favorite time of the month, we're going to have to approve the former meeting minutes, and that's my fault. I didn't have a chance to print, or I printed the wrong line, so that's my fault. So what I will do is this, share my screen. Wait, how am I going to do this? Sorry, 1 second. Oh my gosh. I'm going to pull over the meeting minutes to the screen and then share this screen. Gotta love tech, right? There we go. Alrighty, back here. Share this here. Okay.
Success.
Alrighty. Not very easy to read here for folks in person, but yeah, how about that?
There we go.
It's not bad. All right. So we will just briefly scroll. Shoot. Sorry. You know what? This is 5.8. So we need this one. There we go. Alrighty. There we go. April 10th. That's what it was, right? So, all right. So, folks online, please chime in if there's anything you see, and then folks here, if I could just ask you to just kind of bear with us while we slightly scroll, and yeah, call out any issues that you might see. And is that correct, or is that
Nellie Mitchell?
Nellie Mitchell?
Charles James.
Charles James.
No.
Okay. So we'll do a little cut copy here. No, that's okay.
That's my left leg.
And then how's this? How's that? Charles James.
Charles James Mitchell.
Charles James.
It's
Charles James Mitchell, and it's Nellie
Mitchell.
Gotcha.
And then Carol mentioned that she was in attendance on April 10th, but is not reflected in the minutes.
How's that? Perfect. 3 first names. So we'll get Carol on here then.
Yeah. Tricoche.
Like this?
Tricoche. Another one, see. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Great.
Perfect. This is why we like to not do this on the hybrid system. Not the easiest. Okay, we'll continue to scroll here briefly. And then just for everybody's reference as well, we did review this as a board, so obviously, unfortunately, we didn't catch that mistake, but but majority of the stuff we have already gone through and edited, so just keep scrolling here briefly. Yeah, I think this is all looking pretty good here. Yep. And the bizarre, perfect. Use. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to, unless anything else on Zoom, or we get our
There's nothing in the chat.
Perfect. All right, well, then what I will do is go ahead and call a vote. And so do I have a motion to approve the April meeting minutes by someone on the board?
So moved.
Okay, great. Do I have a second? Leslie seconds. Or Mike seconds. Okay. For the notes, let's say Leslie seconds, and then just all in favor, go ahead and raise your hand, either in person or on the Zoom. If you're able to vote here, let's take a look.
And just sort of like a quick parameter about who can vote, maybe?
Yeah, and just a reminder, those who are able to vote are,
Let's see the count there.
yeah, so we have 7 here online, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 virtually.
So 16 total.
So 16, that is a simple majority. But just a reminder, for those that are voting, you either need to live, rent or own, or work at a business in St. John's or nonprofit in order to be a voting person.
You count
Cathedral Park is counted, yes, yes. Cool, so then we'll go ahead and approve that. Was a 16 simple majority, and I think RJ and I counted we're around 20 non-board members. So yeah, great, well thank you for getting through that here. So yeah. So we'll kind of jump into a few different pieces here. So as far as new business goes, I'll go into my updates here briefly. Sorry, 1 second here. That we can close, and then here's the agenda for those. I'm gonna get this back to my other screen here so I can keep my situation organized to the best of my ability. Oh my gosh, this is the worst. Just get over there. You know what? I do this. Perfect. All right, so first things, yeah, so chair updates. So first and foremost, as mentioned last week, we do have a couple open board positions. Our friend Mike Barta here was formerly land use, but is moving to an at-large member, which is great and totally understandable with time commitments involved. But we do have a very important role that I do want to just shout out there, if anybody does have interest, is land use. And so what the land use chair typically does within our meetings is we get all of this lovely mail at the Kenton Fire Station, which are development notices for any new developments, demolitions, right to develop, intents, those sorts of things happening in the neighborhood. So what land use does specifically is reviews all of these paper documents, and also we get online correspondence, and communicates that out to all of you. So what might happen, and what we've had in the past, is if there is a house that is being demolished and or some new development moving in, some people might have some concerns about maybe an older tree or maybe some easement that's far away from the fence, all of those sorts of things. So within the city of Portland, we have 30 days after we get the kind of notice in the mail to provide a written notice, basically kind of challenging or just seeing if there is anything we can do to try and work through, I think, with the concerned community member and the developer in that case, to either acknowledge some of those concerns and or maybe work through them. So anyway, long story short, we do have a vacancy. I am collecting the mail to the best of my ability and trying to keep up with this, but again, if anybody has any interest, either online or here in person, if you want, you can come chat with me after, the meeting, and or we do have our board meetings the last Wednesday of every month, where we all meet as a board on Zoom. That is available, and we can have you join if anybody has some interest and passion about land use. So yeah, would love to see who might be out there if you're interested. So next topic on the agenda here is the hybrid meeting schedule update. So I think we all agree this is working really, really well. I'm super pleased. I think we all are with just how the tech is working. We're recording meetings now, again, as part of our goal from an accessibility standpoint to allow people that maybe can't make the meetings in person to be able to watch on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel for those that may not be aware. It's St. John's Neighborhood Association. You can find us on YouTube, but we are recording all of these. We're posting on YouTube. But the one thing that is a little bit of a thing that we're working through right now is this lovely venue here, James John School. So we, as a board, worked through the portal within Portland Public Schools to be able to get this space for the remainder of the school year. So as we all know, that's coming up very soon. Technically, our last free opportunity to have this space is going to be next month in June. But our intention and where we're looking to explore is James John is going to be doing some summer kind of restoration and deep cleans, if you will, but there is an opportunity for us to have this space continue throughout the summer. So just want to let everybody know, stay tuned. We're working on this right now. There may be some monetary costs involved, but we'll get to it soon. But we had a very successful Earth Day cleanup where we did get some fundraising. So I think that now internally we'll meet as a board, see if that is an option. But for now, let's stay June, plan for that here. Worst case, if we can't figure it out and if this isn't available for the summer months while they're doing their work, we might have to take a couple months just strictly Zoom, and we'll come back when the school year starts in the fall. So just a little housekeeping piece there that we'll go through. Next item on my list here, for those that saw, hopefully you all have received your ballots in the mail. There was a little printing snafu you can look up on the Oregonian or wherever you find your news, why those were late, but hopefully those all now should be in your mailbox for those that are able to vote. And there's a May special election coming up. Ballots are due May 16th. So just a reminder, you can fill them out, drop them off at the library right here across the street. And also within the state of Oregon now, it can be postmarked on May 16th as well. So you can drop it off at the post office. So just a little shout. Special elections voting is very important no matter how small the election, in my opinion. And then the next one here we'll kind of fly through is the IDC, so Independent District Commission. I don't know how familiar you all are with that, but that was the Measure 23228, or I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but that was charter reform that the city of Portland all voted to enact. And so as part of that charter reform is, for those not in the know, we are going to be going to a district coalition governance style. So what that means is we will have 3 representatives per district representing us at City Council, and all sorts of things with, the city manager and the mayor and all. There's a lot, obviously, if those, you can look up more information online, but the pertinent piece here is that as part of that, to enact before the 2024 general election, which will be in November, presidential election, massive state election, and we're going to be voting for all of our new representatives here at City Council. So in order to get there, the IEDC was created, and what that is doing right now is reviewing a lot of the criteria on how they're going to determine the district maps. Now, this is really important because think about, you're taking the city of Portland, dividing it into different segments. I think there's a lot of things to be considered too of, natural land barriers, whether it's rivers, freeways, those sorts of things. But then I think also, in my personal opinion, and one thing that we as a board are communicating back with this team is making sure that neighborhoods are accounted for, right? So hopefully we aren't being split up as neighborhoods and neighbors. I think that would really align with kind of where we're at. But anyway, what I would do is a call to action. If any of you are interested, take this home and look up Independent District Commission Portland online, and there's a whole homepage, and I'll include this in my newsletters as well, where you can see monthly, weekly updates on where the process is at. There's actually this really amazing tool where you can even draw your own district map. And this, I mean, I'm a government nerd, so I'm just sitting there and spending hours like debating, Sullivan's Gulch versus, anyway, you can do that. And the city is actually reviewing and looking at these community member district maps. So I think that's one thing that I think as all community members, I think it's important to keep an eye on and to really kind of stay abreast on how that's going. And then also, as a neighborhood association, we'll continue to be working with those groups as well. And there will be a review period coming up. Correct me or don't hold me to this, but I believe within the next 2 months, they'll be releasing some draft maps, and then there'll be a hearing piece, et cetera. So a lot more to come, definitely from a SJNA kind of what to look forward to. I think, we can discuss as a board, but as we're definitely getting in front of the 2024 elections, we want to be able to be sure to educate. I think ranked choice voting is going to be something we all need to kind of get used to, especially with multi-member districts. There's a lot to be there. So that's going to be one of our main outreach and pieces that we're going to be focusing on leading up to the 24 elections. But I think right now, this is an important piece that we should all be aware of is happening kind of while we're speaking here. So a lot of really, really cool stuff there. And then I think just from a sake of time, we have a few guest speakers today. And so I'm going to maybe put an asterisk in here into this community corner, and we'll come back to that. But before I do that and hand it over to the first guest speaker of the night, this community corner was something that we also discussed as a board to be able to allow people, you all, community members, to bring your voice to the table. Are there things in the neighborhood you're concerned about? Are there things that you would like to see SJNA and our board do better? We're all here, we're all open, we're all volunteers, but we all are open to feedback and looking to see where we can kind of show up in a big way, I think, for the rest of the neighborhood as well. So I'll put a pin in that. My hope is we'll stay fairly on time, unlike previous meetings tonight, and we'll come back to that community corner here right after a few guest speakers. So first up, the first guest, we will go with Taurus, right, organization. We have Neil Wiener here, who was emailing me back and forth and would like to speak to you all about his organization. Perfect. Yeah. And so if you can just hop to this speaking chair, and then I'll trade you the spots. Okay. Nothing to do with the computer, but there's the mic.
Mm-hmm. Hi. Proud to be here. I'm a St. John's resident over on Richmond Avenue, and I'm representing Taurus on their board, and I'm also a teacher for Taurus. And Taurus is a nonprofit that covers all of Oregon and Southern Washington. And we are teaching immigrants, refugees, and others to speak English. We run roughly 400 learners a year. We have 165 volunteer tutors, and we do it online, Zoom. We also have in-class persons. We have 4 places right now that we're working. The 4 places are Multnomah County Rockwood Library, the Slavic Eastern European Center, Katari Park Apartments, and Gresham Library. And those classes will run anywhere from 8 to 50, 60 people. And we're also doing classes online. And in the near future, probably within the next 6 months, we're going to have videos on an app video where they can, how to take a bus, how to order lunch, how to get an interview for a job. And we're going to have numerous instruction videos on there also. And I teach 2 a week, and my wife is sitting there. She teaches 1 person a week. I have a person from North Korea, South Korea, not North Korea. Big difference. And I also have a person from the Ukraine right now. We're covering 26 countries. So I'm also taught a person from Brazil and Argentina. And so this is all free for them. All they have to do is give their name, and they have to be able to get on Zoom and WhatsApp, which will show them how to do. So that's my presentation. If there's any questions from people, go ahead if you have any.
Do you work at all with UP?
Excuse me?
Do you work at all with UP students? I mean, students would be interested in helping.
Yes, we would love to get more volunteers. We get more volunteers, we can work with more people. A volunteer, and Mike and I were just talking about it, Mike sitting there, is you shadow 4 classes, and that's your training. And you do a little bit of online training. And then once you do that, you'll be given a student, and the student and you will get together. And if both of you agree, you're off to the races, and we provide some instructional help for people right now. In the beginning, we didn't, but right now we're providing instructional help. So we have 165 volunteers. We have, the director is the only paid person. So this is mostly a volunteer organization, as I am and everybody else. Any questions, other questions?
I was looking for more from an outreach standpoint, but we do have a lot of Spanish-speaking residents up in the neighborhood.
Yes.
And so, you know, I mean, this, we obviously know because we've been communicating, but just for others in the neighborhood and community, you know, how can we help kind of get out the word, I think, and being able to inform people about this great organization that we have.
I think we can get out the word with the newspaper in town.
Yeah.
These meetings, the Business Association in St. John's. And right now I'm thinking of posting it because I notice a lot of things are posted around town, so why not?
Yeah.
You have any other ideas?
No, I think that's great. We actually have a board member on the
Liz?
Zoom here that his name's Juan, that we've been working a lot with him, specifically speaking to reach into more Spanish-speaking
Can you use the mic because people can't hear
You
well?
need to use the mic, nobody's able to
Oh,
hear you.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was just referring to specifically around outreach. And so, yeah, we would love to partner with you, I think, and see if we can get some Spanish-speaking pamphlets and flyers out in some of these businesses, because I think it's a great organization, and we'll continue to message that within our newsletters.
Okay. We also have speakers that will take English and translate it if someone wants it into Spanish, Russian. I think we're doing 6 languages right now, Japanese and Chinese. So we also provide that service. Okay. And that would be great if we were able to get the Spanish-speaking community, people who would like to get free lessons, and fantastic.
But the St. John's Church has a Spanish community service.
St. John's Church, where's that? Which one is that?
Spanish service.
Yeah, is that the one close by here?
Central?
Just-
right over there.
just
yeah.
like, yeah.
Central,
Okay.
yeah, Oswego.
I'll stop by there.
So you should ask, and they are very supportive of this kind of thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch and make sure that we can share resources as well.
Okay.
And Liz Smith from the Boosters is on, and she says, "Hi, Dr. Neal." So just passing that along.
Hi, Liz.
Very cool.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Neil.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll keep on keeping on here. Perfect. Yeah, and so for those on the Zoom, we'll definitely make sure to include some more informational outreach within our next newsletters. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. So just keeping on schedule here, going down the list, we have a couple additional guest speakers. First, I wanted to see if there was anyone representing the parade here today that was going to provide any updates for the community here, since that is coming up this weekend. I don't believe so. But I'll speak on their behalf. So we've been working obviously with the parade. Again, just parade and bazaar is happening this Saturday. We all know and love that and are really excited. But I do know that the parade is continuing to take donations and also kind of a last call for volunteers. But from here, I'm going to pass it over to Emil to give a little update on the bazaar. Over here.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Do I have to sit down here?
You don't have, yeah, you can if you'd like.
I
It
will
looks
sit
best
down.
on the
Okay.
screen there.
It's nice to see everybody. Seamus
see
is
you.
here. I see Liz and Aaron, I think, and Mark. I haven't been to a St. John's Neighborhood Association meeting for a while, so thank you for having me. I'm with the St. John's Bazaar. I'm with the St. John's Bazaar. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, we're having the bazaar this weekend along with the parade. The bazaar's in our 14th year. The parade's been going a lot longer than that, but probably 2005. Some neighbors and business owners were sitting around after the parade and realized that we had all these people coming into the neighborhood, and then everybody left at the end of the parade, and they said, "Why don't we have a party?" And they started the St. John's Bazaar. And it's just gotten bigger and better over the years. And so now at this point, we have a beer garden. We have two stages. We shut down a good portion of the downtown area for long, before and after the parade goes through. We've got 145 vendors. Most of the business owners in the neighborhood say that this is actually their best business day of the year because so many people come in and stay in the neighborhood. If you go to stjohnsbazaar.com, and that's Bazaar, B-I-Z-A-R-R-E, you'll find our website. We've got tabs that show what the lineup is for the music during the day. We'll have vendor listings for what booths will be coming in, craft and art vendors, or rather, and food vendors. Anyway, we also really need volunteers, and we do take donations on the website as well. Right now, we're looking at setup and tear down is kind of it's the foundation of setting everything up and tearing it down. It's huge. We have a lot of people that are, happy and willing to serve beer, and that's a great job, but we also need people to help us move barricades and put up tables and canopies and help with stage tents and things like that. So if anyone's available, generally in the morning or in the afternoon, later in the afternoon, we have a link on our website that you can just click on and sign up for something that you can help out with, and we'd be most appreciative. Does anyone have any questions about the bazaar?
stjohnsbazaar.com, or was it just bazaar.com?
stjohnsbazaar.com.
Is it, I don't remember, is it
stjohnsbazaarre.com. Okay. Well, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, and just one little shout out as well. We, as SJNA, are a sponsor of the event, and so you'll see some of our smiling faces that day as well. So come on by and say hi. We'll just be out there, just saying hi to folks, introducing ourselves for those that may not be aware, and also trying to get some additional folks to sign up for our newsletters. So not selling anything, but just going to be out in the community, just saying hi. So really looking forward to it. Perfect. So I think just from a sake of time, I have next up on the list here is our little community corner. So I think we have about 10 minutes if there is anything specifically, but just a reminder again, this is totally open and totally available for anything that you all, may think through. As we've heard some feedback in the past about, leaf cleanups in the fall and some of those other things, but truly an open opportunity if anybody would like to raise any questions or have anything for us or specifically around the neighborhood. We'll see if we can help answer any questions or anything like that. See if anybody online here.
No hands up, nothing in the chat. Okay. No, we've got one hand.
We got one hand here.
Juan.
Go ahead, Juan.
Yeah, so I have some stuff I want to say later, but just for this part of the meeting, a neighbor did mention to me that they would like to see if there's a thing where we could do like a neighborhood watch, signs, or better lighting, just to in terms of security. I don't know if the neighbor's there because I can't see very well who's present, but it was just mentioned to me and I said I was gonna bring it up.
Yeah, no, thanks, Juan. I think that's definitely something that, we've heard, especially with, Liz and the boosters and working through within safety and livability as well, from like lighting within the plaza and all of those sorts of things. So, we have been hearing back from Peabody. I know they're kind of extending and working through keeping those lights up kind of year round, but I would say definitely something that we'll continue to speak through. And one little tease as well, if you will, for June is we're going to have our friend Mike from Peabody back to give a North Portland in Motion update. And I think that's going to be a really good opportunity as well, Juan, and anybody else that does have some, concerns or whatnot from a lighting standpoint. Peabody's going to be the folks I think we're going to want to work with on that. So definitely more to come in June. Yeah.
Safer Together is probably a good, Safer Together program would dovetail with what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Knowing your
As
neighbors,
far
having a community.
oh yeah, as far as knowing your neighbors, yes. Yeah, so for those that didn't hear online, yeah, definitely Safer Together. And we'll get Paul here to provide some additional updates here shortly. But I think that's a great program, exactly. That's what we're looking for, to meet our neighbors. Yes.
Ron specifically mentioned Neighborhood Watch, which I don't know if they still do, but North Portland Neighborhood Services used to have do they still have a safety, like a neighborhood, basically a liaison, oh no, they don't, because they used to actually come out and train block by block, Neighborhood Watch.
Yeah.
And not organize those, but
Yeah, so the question or the comment was more of just, does North Portland Neighborhood Services have a kind of neighborhood watch program and assistance? Yeah, so we work with within our chairs meeting with Mary down at the Kent Firehouse. I was just there on Friday actually, and no, there isn't really anything at the moment within that, but we do have Austin here from a safety and livability standpoint that we'll get to as one of our board updates just in a few minutes. I think that could be something maybe we can discuss or bring to the table with some of our Public Safety Action Committee meetings.
Yeah, what was that organization again?
It was, if anybody was interested in like kind of how to conduct some sort of neighborhood watch program. And then we have another question here, Colette.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, can you repeat that about the neighborhood watch? In that I think that would be really helpful to our neighborhood to have some kind of watch program, especially on Lombard for the businesses that seem to be getting vandalized quite frequently. Mm-hmm. Is there going to be a neighborhood watch program, some kind of training and organization of some such program?
Yeah, so I'm not aware of one at the moment, no. But I think the question, and it's a good shout, we as a board, wouldn't be able to necessarily have the manpower to do something like that. But I think, like we were saying, within safety and livability, that could be something we can explore. I know that I've been curious personally as well, if there are any kind of city opportunities or any information behind that. So I'll take that down as a note and we can definitely follow up. But yeah, you had another question?
Well, I said some brief history. There used to be, for those of us who lived in St. John's Island, there used to be a foot patrol called Pumpkins, because they wore orange jackets and they used to walk around. But usually it was just kind of in the evening, 6 to 10 or something like that. Of course, most of the property crimes that we're witnessing is, what did they say, between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. So then we tried to, through the St. John's Center for Opportunity, retrain a bunch of people on doing patrols and groups, and it's just an enormous
Absolutely.
volunteer effort that takes a lot of training, a lot of dedication. We've just never been able to scale it. It's not to say we can't try again, just a little history of that. It seems to be kind of
Yep. Yeah, for those on Zoom real quick, just to rehash that, since I think you can't really hear very well, but was just, this gentleman was just providing some historic updates and just reiterating that the lift, especially for someone like a neighborhood association, it's fairly high. So I think if that is something that people are interested in, we can at least try and raise the question and see how we can communicate for those that are interested to kind of learn more information. And we can definitely kind of come back with that additionally. We have another Zoom question here, Elena.
Hi. I noticed at the Earth Day cleanup recycling event that we had, a lot of people brought things that were in great condition. And I was wondering if we could maybe try and organize some kind of like neighborhood-wide garage sale or swap or something to help find new homes for things that need them.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great shout. So there is the swap and play that we have a good relationship with just on the road as well. But I do know that that was one thing that we all internally took back from the Earth Day cleanup, if you all weren't out there. But yeah, I personally was surprised by how many people were kind of donate or getting rid of, I would say, very gently used items that are fine within that regard. And so, you know, that's something that we've been talking about, you know, going into next year's planning and whatnot, is making sure that the gently used and the usable items can be, you know, repurposed and whatnot throughout the neighborhood. Yes.
I think you should have the community warehouse, because they are one of the best things, because they work with refugees to have them furnished apartments. I think it's amazing. And I don't think that they are mentioned often enough.
Cool. Yeah, for those on Zoom, community member was saying community warehouse. Is that right?
Yes.
Community warehouse. Writing that down.
MLK.
On MLK. Okay, we'll definitely keep that in mind. And RJ is going to provide an update from the Earth Day as well with a lot of really cool notes. Lena, was that it? Oh, okay, perfect. And then we got Drew, your hands up.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask real quick. I know last meeting, you guys were talking about getting the North Precinct police lieutenant or the night watch commander, Michael Roberts, if that's right, to be a speaker here, to do a guest speaking slot. And I thought that would kind of dovetail with the night watch and the vandalism concerns pretty well. And he might be the person to talk to. So do you know if there's been any progress on that?
Yeah, so thanks, Drew. Yeah, for those here, we are working through again with PSAC and within the North Precinct office, and so that was something that we are looking at over the next few months, potentially having a guest speaker from that office if there are any specific questions around any of these kind of safety topics that I definitely have heard some folks. Yeah, we're concerned about. So more to come there. Probably won't be for June because we do have North Portland in motion, but very shortly thereafter, hopefully we'll be able to communicate that out on when we're going to have a guest speaker.
That's it for weather.
Cool. Well, I think we're at, oh, sorry.
If you are into safety, I've been here only 5 years, but I volunteered a lot in downtown events. I volunteered for the spring fleet, and I have never been as terrorized by motorbikes as I was on that.
Yeah.
And I've had parents come to me because the children are upset. It was really horrible. So I hope any event now doesn't have motorbikes all over the place.
Yeah.
I ran to the street to ask them to slow down because I was on the plaza helping with the kids programs and stuff, and the kids were getting scared. So I ran to ask them to please slow down, and they would be revving up their bikes in front of us, and then they just jumped on the sidewalk towards me.
Yeah, yeah. So for those on Zoom, that was at the Spring Fling event. Yeah, yeah. So community member was just saying at the Spring Fling event there were some yeah, it's just motorcycles sounds like. Yeah, and I think too, just in general, you know, we've been working through, I think with PBOT as well with the stop sign at that specific intersection at Lombard and Philadelphia. But yeah, I would just say, even just as we're all kind of working through the change in traffic, may or may not have been as successful as intended. So they're putting in those new flashing stop signs, which you've seen, but I would just say, just as a good, you know, rule of thumb, and I definitely practice this every day, is I'm always checking twice, 3 times, if not before crossing, right? Just so that we're all safe, you know. And yeah,
that's not acceptable.
Yeah. Liz, I see your hand is virtually raised.
It is. I can speak specifically a little bit about that, Nellie. So we did not know until the last minute there was a motorcycle event, and we had no idea it would be that big. So we will definitely find out when that is next year and not plan the spring fling on that exact same day. Because while we want the district engaged, that was a lot of activity in one spot. So we did talk about that. And secondly, we have talked about if we're going to have big plaza events like that, potentially shutting down just that little section of Lombard so that we can have a pedestrian safe walk continuously through the event. And, just for that short time period. So things like the tree lighting, for example, same kind of thing, because we want you coming back and forth across Lombard easily and not feeling unsafe and not having cars be confused. So that is something that has come up in our planning of plaza events that I just wanted to share with you guys.
No, thank you, Liz. Thank you. And then we're just shortly over time, so I'll just do one more and then we'll continue. Our intention is to have this community corner, as we go forward. So Emil, did you have a comment or? Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, great. Thank you. Yeah, no, I definitely, we all really wanted to do that and make sure that, your voices are heard as well, kind of as we're going through this. But what I will say is we'll continue down the agenda here and we'll start going down the table for board updates. And we'll go ahead and start with Vice Chair. If RJ and I will switch seats here. All right. Thank you.
The shortest travel to the speaker's chair of the night. Hey, folks. Hello, everybody on Zoom. Yes, my name is RJ. If you haven't seen me before, it's nice to see you. I am the vice chair. I helped secure the grant and organize the Earth Day cleanup we had at Roosevelt High School. We had just about 200 unique sign-ins or like unique loads of waste, to call it. I frame it that way because a lot of people showed up in a car with 2 or 3 people as well and brought the family out for the event. So it was well over that 200 number in terms of amount of people that showed up. We filled 4 40-yard dumpsters. I did the math just before this. It came out to 8.5 tons of waste was pulled away from the event. And also a lot of free compost was given out to the neighborhood. So I know a lot of people got some good stuff to take away there. But so overall, very successful event. It did not require any sort of money to be able to enter the event and drop off waste, though we did passively collect donations if people were inclined and willing and wanting. And through that and through the generosity of the people that came through, we raised more than $800 from the cleanup as well. So it was a very big success all around, from amount of waste taken out of the neighborhood, amount of people showing up and participating, from raising of funds for the organization. So a real big thank you to anybody and anybody who came out, everybody who helped and volunteered. Thank you for coming out and volunteering. We chatted at the check-in table there, and yes, Patrick was out there. I think he threw his back out lifting stuff in the dumpsters, but
not my finest day.
He's healed now. He's doing okay.
I'm doing okay.
So really a group effort all around. The huge help in all this was the St. John's Sustainability Coalition. Their organization, they're a local nonprofit here in St. John's. They've been on the board in the past. They put on these events before. Really, without them, it doesn't happen. So a big thank you to them. And actually in the future, they'll be taking more of the lead on these and lining up these events to make sure that they continuously happen for our neighborhood moving forward. So always be on the lookout around that time in the spring. They'll always try to have a large waste disposal event. But then additionally, we're going to try and do something this fall to sort of help with leaf pickup, but also potentially another like waste disposal event. We'll have to see the exact details, but be on the lookout for November-ish timeframe for something like that, for another large event. And then, in the past, I've organized salt cleanups as well, and so those will continue throughout the year. So be on the lookout for those. We'll try to attack the problem from both sides, get ahead of it with some of these large disposal events, and then also sort of triage it in real time with doing salt cleanups at parts of the neighborhood that maybe need the love and attention for a couple hours on a Saturday. So If anybody has any questions or anything about the cleanup, I'm happy to answer them, but otherwise, thanks again to everybody who came out and helped out.
I did have one little thing that I heard a lot as directing people through the actual event, but do you have any update or understanding? The intention was that all of this stuff went into the 40-yard, but then kind of got commingled after, right?
Yeah, that was, Recology was saying, we get everything to them and they sort out and take care of it from there. So that's taking tires out, metals out, things such as that, to kind of dispose of them properly. In addition to those, and I skipped over this, in addition to those 4 40-yard dumpsters, there was Metro kindly provided their hazardous waste disposal team. And so they were collecting household batteries, compact fluorescent light bulbs, even old prescriptions and sharps they were taking as well. So that saw a lot of usage there. And we also had somebody taking paint to be recycled. There was so much paint brought that within 1 hour, we were at capacity. So it seems like over the pandemic, everybody painted a room in their house.
Yes.
And then everybody showed up to the cleanup with that paint saying, please take it. So we're gonna up the capacity next time for paint to make sure that we can accommodate for that. But that was also there as well too. So we were trying to make sure that things got disposed of properly in the best manner.
We don't have any hands up on the Zoom. Yeah, any other updates or anything?
That is it.
Cool. Awesome.
Thanks, y'all.
We'll keep on keeping on here. Awesome. Yeah, thank you, RJ. No, I think it was great. And we're super excited to do it again soon. And then, like we were saying, I think some of the, community warehouse, I think it's great. Neighborhood swaps, I think there's some timing thing. We might not do it on Earth Day because there were so many different things happening that day as well. So definitely some learnings as we'll go, but we'll get better. We'll continue to improve, but I think it was pretty darn good for what it was. So.
Yeah, 8.5 tons.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you, RJ. Alrighty, well, I'm going to pass it over to Bernadine, our treasurer. And before I do, I need to just make sure I'm sharing for the Zoom folks the correct screen right here. Yes. Oops. What are you seeing on yours there? Do you see the?
Not over there.
Well, for those in the room, I think the only way we're going to be able to do this, unfortunately, is we have a printout with the printouts if you all have the printed version. Otherwise, Bernadine will walk us through every specific line item here. But here you go. Thank you.
Okay, general checking account is from April 9th, 2023 through May 7th, 2023. Our beginning balance, April 9th, was $16,371.77. For donations on our income, which was Earth Day, April 22nd, they did very good at the cleanup. We got $826.65. That was very good, much more than I ever expected to come in. I figured we'd be lucky to get $50. But then you see our expenses. We had a restricted account from a grant that we had received for Day of the Child. After we had our event in April of 2022, and we paid all of our expenses, there was a balance that was left, and the board voted to spend that since it was for kids and reading. We divided it, as you can see, amongst the 4 schools: Sitton Elementary, James John, George Middle, and Roosevelt. And I personally delivered the checks to the schools. 3 of the schools, I was to see the librarians, and they were all ecstatic to get any kind of money to get books that they all said they had a long list of books that they would like to get. So they were all ecstatic about that. Next expense is the city of Portland, and this was $100, and it was for a road closure in regards to the cleanup at Roosevelt so that traffic could flow better. And as you can see, that came out of the Metro grant funds that we had received. Next item is umbrella. That is the name of the fiscal sponsorship for the St. John's Bazaar. That's who we paid after last month's approval that everybody approved to raise our budget to $250 from $200 for the St. John's Bazaar. And that has been taken care of. The next is Meta. And that was also in regards to the Earth Day grant. It was $92, and that is for, my understanding, Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram ads to promote and make sure the community knew about it.
You want to talk?
Oh, sure. Yes, that was for Facebook and Instagram ads in the neighborhood to make sure people were aware of the cleanup and had all the details for it.
Okay. And then we have May's MailChimp, which is our email service. And then as the last item is a check that was made to Paul Rippey. As you can see, $2,291.07, but that's all reimbursement for the flyers and everything that they've bought for the block parties and stuff, and that's all out of the Safer Together grant from the $10,000 that we have initially received from the city. So our total expenses is $3,035.19. Balance is $14,163.23. Restricted for the Metro grant is $4,475. Restricted for the Safer Together grant is $7,708.93. So unrestricted is $1,979.30. Are there any questions in regards to the general checking account?
Nothing on Zoom.
I can't see her still.
Yeah, no, it's, sorry about that.
And stuff. So if you turn, for those that are here, you can turn the sheet over and you'll see that our restricted account art fund is still at a beginning balance, same dates as the other, April 9th through May 7th at $100.04. No income, no expenses. Our balance as of yesterday is $100.04. The next one is our bottle drop account from April 9th through May 7th. And stuff, our beginning balance was $431.32. We had various bags dropped, not a lot this time, $12.40. The next thing we got for income, there was an Earth Week bonus. This ran from April 10th through the 22nd. And Bottle Drop gave those organizations, nonprofits that registered, and we did, they gave you a bonus, and it was based on the amount that was dropped during those dates. And we got an additional $1.82 for a total income of $14.22. So our ending balance as of yesterday is $445.54. Any question about any of those? I still can't tell.
Yeah, and for those in person, if you are interested, we do have a couple extra bags over here. If you don't know what those are the blue bags you drop off at Safeway, but it does help us with some fundraising. But thank you, Bernadine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bernadine.
Just back here. Along those notes real quick, we actually got two really wonderful thank you notes from the Sitten Elementary School Library and Roosevelt High School Library. So I'll leave those at the front they're very, very thankful about the donation for the library, which is really, really cool to see. So thank you, Bernadine, for taking the lead on that. Okay, so perfect. We're cruising here. So next up, we have Austin here from a safety and livability standpoint. And so this one, we're going to have a little slideshow here. So Austin, give me a second, and I will pass this over. Here we go. Look at us, folks. We're getting better here. This is fancy. So, all right, here's Austin.
Hey, everyone. I'm Austin, and I'm the Safety and Livability Chair. And I just have some notes to share with you.
The next arrow, probably. Oh yeah, the mouse is going to be, yeah, just go ahead and click the right arrow.
Oh, okay, great. Right, so every month I attend the Northeast PSAC meetings, and they are attended by the Portland Police Bureau and the various neighborhoods in North Precinct, and I report back the information gathered from those meetings and shared with us. Guest speakers at the last meeting was Captain Jacob Clark, and he reported that homicides from January through March of this year are down compared with last year. And I put a short URL up there in case you wanted to jot that down. There's actually a dashboard. You can see what reports have been made, and by month, by year, by neighborhood. So you can actually kind of go in there and see how things are tracking over time for yourself. They have been conducting 1 to 3 retail theft missions at business areas such as Jansen Beach, and they've made a number of arrests. And North Precinct is working to conduct extra patrols through our business district here in St. John's. And then Sergeant Ken Huntinghouse shared with us the Peninsula Crossing Trail Safe Rest Village is scheduled to be completed either end of May or sometime in June, and that the camps along that trail are going to be moved sometime at the end of May, and that area will actually be blocked off for a number of weeks. And the governor is pushing to clear the training backlog for police. I believe she requested $7 million from the state legislature. And police are looking into different gunshot technologies, detection technologies. There's no official word as to what company they would go with. They're just looking at different companies right now. That is a tool that is being discussed right now to be used in Portland. And then each month I attend a bi-monthly PMO Problem Solvers meeting, and that's just the city and some of the community members in North Portland. And we talk with Lieutenant Chad Stensgaard attends from the Portland Police Bureau, and he just wanted to share that some arrests have been made in regards to shoplifters, especially at our new seasons here on Lombard. And due to the size of the encampments along the Peninsula Crossing Trail, as I just previously said, that they are going to be cleaning that area, but it's going to take more a thought out approach. According to the city, there's a team of 25 outreach workers that talk to campers and offer services, and 100 shelter beds are set aside for cleanup groups to offer anyone who would like that opportunity. as I say every month, the city and the police department would like us to use the pdxreporter.org. You can access it on your phone or on your computer to report things like graffiti, trash removal, and so forth. And then the meeting I just attended this morning, just some notes to share with you about street racing. The North Precinct is conducting street racing missions. They just recently completed 2 missions. They've arrested 11 to 12 people and towed 15 cars. And detectives are engaging in social media sleuthing to find the organizers and to hold people accountable. And due to some of the repurposing of police officers for the traffic division, we actually will have a few fewer officers at any given time. And so that means that 911 and non-emergency calls will take longer to respond to. It doesn't mean you shouldn't call if you need those services, but to just be aware of that. Some officers are being reassigned to the traffic division again, which had been, I think, like shut down or erased for a while there during COVID. And one thing that was mentioned is that I know we had just talked about our community corner about increased security. I think Juan, you brought this up. One thing that the police department shared with us today was that any opportunities or businesses or we might have to get cameras, outdoor lighting, and posting even signs that say this area is under surveillance is a deterrent to potential thieves or people that you may not want hanging out. And just something non-police related, you can see the new flashing stop signs there on Lombard down by the plaza, and hopefully all goes that helps with the crosswalks there. Are there any questions any of you have? Or anything you'd like me to share back with either our guests that attend those meetings or with the other neighborhood associations? I'd be happy to bring your concerns to those meetings.
The PDX reporter,
Mm-hmm.
is this where we can report strange, interesting things going on, like this van parked by the library day and night, which has lights on at night at certain times, and sometimes the engine on for 40 minutes at a time. And
You can report campsites, abandoned vehicles, illegally parked cars. So you could probably post it through there, or you could call 311 or non-emergency if there was a concern. Is there anything on chat?
Nothing on the chat here. No hands raised.
Okay. All right, well, thanks everyone. I will do my best to advocate for our neighborhood and report back to you on the latest updates.
Cool. Thank you, Austin.
Yeah.
All righty, perfect. Yeah, thank you very much. Way better on time this
reason.
So let me stop that. All right, we got the grid back. Get the grid back up here. And next is land use. And so I will sit back down here because I'm acting chair.
Did you bring your land use hat?
I didn't bring a hat today. So imagine I'm wearing a land use hat, like a hard hat probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, a few things land use related. I will kind of hastily go through these. There was a specific location. I don't know if any residents are here or not for this, but the 9486 North Trumbull Ave. It looks like there is a a plot of land that is going to be subdivided into 4 to build some 4 additional units to increase the density of our neighborhood from a living capacity standpoint. And there was a tree that was on that lot that was of concern, I think, to the neighbors. So there was a few back and forth here, back to the city, planners and zoning commission. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, that tree is going to be removed. But just a reminder, you can see a lot of the ways that is handled, I think, from a city level, from the planning and sustainability and zoning standpoint. But any trees over a certain diameter, 50 or so, I don't remember exactly, but there are some additional fees and whatnot involved with if you are a contractor and are going to be removing those said trees. And also, there are some opportunities as well for those developers and or regulations to plant additional trees. So looking at the specific lot here, I'm looking at 6 to 9 additional trees will be planted. So again, look, personally for me, like, I'm not speaking from an SJNA, but from Patrick's standpoint, like, yeah, I hate to see that happen. You know, it is something that, you know, we tried and worked back with the city, but in order for that development to continue, they had to remove that tree due to just where it was placed within that specific location. And then I'll continue along here. So there is an intent to demolish 9032 North Buchanan. This location, again, we don't really get too much more information after we do get the notification for demolishment. But it looks like the appeal is due May 25th. So if that address or that road specifically means something to you, just go ahead and you can let me know either in the chat or come by afterward. But I can give you the information here as well. But yeah, we have until the end of May for any sort of appeal on that one. And then lastly here, one second. We do have another one here, 9405 North Ivanhoe. So I need to remind myself what this one is about. Right, so this is another kind of subdivision request. So yeah, they're going to be subdividing this property for a fourplex, resulting in each unit being located on its own lot. Building permits are under inspection for development. And just a reminder too, with any of this, I know it's a lot to kind of take in. It's hard to kind of imagine where these places are, but if you go on to the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability website, which is under Portland, Oregon, Portland.gov, Portland-Oregon.gov rather, /BDS, which is the Bureau of Development Services. You can look up any of these notifications on your own. There's a full website. We get mailed these because we are within the neighborhood association, but if there's any curiosity or if you see a land use notice or any sort of development notice, you can find all the information here, and it is public record too if you want. The developer's contact information is on here, phone number, email address, etc. So if there are any concerns or specific questions, I would really direct you to kind of self-serve on that website, especially while we're down a board member in this position. So I'll definitely do my best to inform you all. But hey, if you are interested either on Zoom or in person, come see me after if you are passionate about land use. Any questions specifically around that or on Zoom? Anything on Zoom? No. Cool. All right, we'll keep going down the list here. So I have at-large updates here. I'm going to stay seated here and pass it over if we have Juan on the Zoom to provide updates. Board member Juan.
Hi. Yes. So in general, like with the translation, we are continuing that. We're trying to get all the communications in English and in Spanish, and I've been working on that as well with the meeting minutes and whatever else like the board needs. Just send that to me and I'll get it done. And I also have 2 announcements. One of them is the Frog Ferry event at City Council, and I'm gonna read a little bit of the email I got here. So it says, please join us on Wednesday, May 24th at 9:30 a.m. to show Portland City Council that you support Frog Ferry. This is going to be at the City Council Chambers, 1221 Southwest 4th Avenue. You will not be asked to speak. You may share this invitation with others. We encourage you to wear Frog Ferry green. And it's an excellent opportunity to learn about your city governance, and please take transit or carpool. And I'll be taking the bus there. So if anyone wants to join me, just send me an email and we'll do that. And the second thing I want to say, and maybe Paul will talk about it later or not, but it's related to Safer Together. So we had a meeting with this group that's called Safe Blocks. It's a program from the city of Portland. And maybe it might be hard to integrate it with the Safer Together parties, but we can have separate events for it. They are professional trainers who develop community safety trainings to educate your neighbors, businesses, and the larger Portland community. Each training is provided from trauma-informed approach and includes bias awareness training. And they also have community building activities to promote safe spaces and community building. And yeah, I think it was very interesting, the meeting we had with them. And if anyone is interested in such a thing, you can also contact me on my email and we'll figure out how we can organize an event like that. And that's it for me.
Cool. Thank you, Juan. Much appreciated. Do we have any questions either on Zoom or in the room for Juan?
Nothing on Zoom.
He's doing great work out there. So yeah, thanks again. Really can't appreciate it enough. Really appreciate your work. Well, we're going to continue down the list here and we're going to get wrapped up here shortly. So next on the at-large membership is going to be Paul, our friend from a Safer Together standpoint. I will hand over the mic.
Now, how long does this reach? Not long enough. So
Not long enough.
It's okay.
Tripping hazard. If you want to.
Thank you. So, so Safer Together, as you know, we said we would facilitate people in doing 30 block parties with a disaster preparedness and emergency resilience theme to them. And that theme takes the form of a 10 to 15 minute talk on what to do when the ground starts trembling or the houses start burning or whatever things are going to happen. And then there's some things you can sign up for. So it's mostly block party, but it's got this message in it. And it is a very important message because, as a lot of us know, the best way to be safe when there's an emergency is to know your neighbors. Because with all respect to the ambulances and the fire department and everything, they're going to be overwhelmed if we have an earthquake. So we'll depend on ourselves. So sorry, I have to cough. This is unfortunate. Sorry. We've had a sign-up sheet on the website for weeks now, months now, I guess, and 37 people have signed up, which is impressive because we've done very little publicity. So this is word of mouth, and this is a lot of people like you, including people in this room. So thank you very much for signing up, and that's great. And then after somebody signs up, it's our job to contact the person, find a date, make sure they understand what's involved and everything. And this has been sort of a bottleneck. You're looking at the bottleneck here. And this has been hard recently because I've had to travel out of state twice since the last time we met in this room. So it's just been a little bit of overwhelm, but we have 13 block parties now with clear dates, sort of cleared, ready to go. But that leaves a big backlog that we haven't reached yet. I'll be talking about what we're doing with that backlog in a second. The first party, we've had exactly one so far, and that was on April 23rd. It was on my street, but I was not the host. It was my neighbor who was the host. And it was just delightful. It was just delightful. And I think block parties are delightful in general. And the fact that this had sort of a purpose that was a little bit larger than just getting together and eating potato salad and hot dogs was really great. So we stopped for it. We talked about disaster preparedness and let people sign up for things. And so that worked really well. And it was touching to me, moving to me, just to meet people that live like 3 or 4 doors down from me, who are really interesting folks that I had never met. And I'm out going, I walk the dog every day. Why don't I know these people? And so I love block parties. I think they're great. Sorry, if you haven't signed up to do one, you should. Austin, thank you very much. Austin got in touch with Station 22, the fire department, and I've talked to them since then, and they say, sure, they'll send a fire. If they're not busy putting out a fire, they are happy to send a fire truck to any of the block parties. That's a little plus, and people do love that, apparently, when they come. Juan talked about meeting with the Party on Portland program, the Safe Blocks program. There are other things that we could add to these parties, but I'm very afraid of getting too many ornaments on the Christmas tree. And I think having the block party be the block party with one talk is great. And somebody who is, we've had a series, and we just had one last night, a hosts orientation party for people that want to host. And somebody who came to the meeting last night said, yeah, one talk on disaster resilience, that's fine. Bring in something else, I don't want to do it. I was just like, it's too much, because you just want to do, it's mostly a party with a talk. You don't want to have a party with 2 talks. So I think the way they're designed right now seems just about right. But thanks to Mary Jaren Kelly, who is like our guardian angel, keeps arranging things and putting us in contact with people. A couple of things have happened. One is that other neighborhood associations have gotten in touch, and I'm meeting tomorrow night. Actually, I'm going to the Cathedral Park Neighborhood Association. And Cathedral Park is, you know, it's practically us, you know, but it's different. It's like kind of conjoined twins a little bit, so that's easy. And we have block parties scheduled, 3 block parties that I know of scheduled in the area of Cathedral Park, but that's fine. They're like people that are in this room right now are doing them, are holding them. And I don't have any trouble with that, but I want to make sure that Cathedral Park sees this not as us coming into their space to do something, but rather that we can do it together and get buy-in from the board. So that's what I want to do. And you know, we will have a sign up for SJNA, but we should also have a sign up sheet for Cathedral Park. Just make sure that it really serves them and that we are good friends, not competitors. But then I got a note from somebody in University Park, and that felt different. That's like a bridge too far.
Other side of the tracks, literally.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm doing the other side of the tracks. And of course, they think we're on the other side of the tracks. But I would love to see this program go citywide, and I think it could, because once you get going, it's not that hard. It's getting going is a little bit hard. And so I said, you know, sure, we'll tell you everything we know, we'll help you in any way we can, but you really need to get buy-in, both from the University Park Neighborhood Association and from the NET team there, Neighborhood Emergency team there. So we'll see what they say. Then, like I said, I've been sort of overwhelmed. Now Austin started out, Austin and I worked together really closely on a lot of things, and that was great. And then Austin had some things going on in his life. He has a life also, so he had to put some time into that, and that was unfortunate, but I understand. And then Juan stepped forward. Juan has been great to work with, but he's also doing 12 other things too. So, and really I need some more help. So I've tried to recruit somebody through through Roosevelt High School, and there were no nibbles, none. And I think that's not good. It's getting towards the end of the year, so I don't know. Then we've applied through the Portland Opportunities Industrialization Center, which will give us possibly a free intern. I mean, the person is paid, but they pay them. Now that's great. I love that from a budget standpoint. And so and it's only been 10 days since we finished the paperwork, so we may get somebody there. But in the meantime, we do have money in the budget to pay somebody. And the person who was the host for the first block party wrote to me and he said, you know, I'd love to do this. And he wasn't even thinking about a job then, but I know that he can't, he's got to feed his family too, you know, so this would help top up his income some. So I think we may just offer him a contract as soon as tomorrow. That'll be so good. Oh boy, because we really need somebody else. So that's it. We learned enough. I say that's it, and then I keep talking. That's not it. We learned enough at the first block party that we revised this. So if you are doing a block party, you should see me and I'll get you the new information. This is the host's guidebook. And this is getting to be pretty good here, I gotta say. This has probably been revised 5 times. And a lot of people have said, why don't you talk about this? I say, yeah, put it all in. And if you want to find out, take one of these flyers, they're over there by the table, or just go to the website. And if you go to the website, you cannot miss finding Safer Together. If you sign up there, we'll get back to you. So that's all we're taking off. The next block party is the day of the bazaar and the parade. It's next Saturday. It's going to be in the evening, right near the community center, and she knows what she's doing. So I said, okay.
Big day.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Paul.
Oh, unless there are questions.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Questions in the room or anything on the Zoom there?
Nothing.
Yes,
on the
please.
Zoom.
I filled out the form online, but I don't know, like, do I need more information? How do I can talk to you afterwards?
Okay, talk to me afterwards, yeah. If you did fill out the form online, if you didn't hear back from me, something's wrong, so we'll figure it out. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Paul. Perfect. Alrighty, thank you. Where are we at here? Yes, so from an outreach standpoint, or sorry, from an at-large standpoint, we have outreach. Carol, I believe, is on the call. Anything, Carol, from yours? Any updates from you? If Carol is still here.
Carol, she's on there, but she's coming off video right now. So.
Hi, I'm here.
Hey, Carol.
Yeah, sorry, no updates other than, we've done really good about reaching through our social media. We've hit over 8,000 viewers, so keep letting us know what you want to get posted and we'll keep posting, and that's all I have today.
Yeah, perfect. The audio was a little choppy here, but I will say if there's anything that anybody likes or is working on that they would like us to amplify your voice on our social media platform, and specifically in the newsletter that I write every month, send us an email, let us know. We would love to help amplify for other organizations in the neighborhood as well. All right, we're wrapping up here. Leslie, any updates on your end from at large? All right, we're looking good there. Did I miss anybody? Mike, welcome back. Okay. All right, well then, I think what we'll do here then, I'll pass it over to Liz, Boosters update.
And I'm going to pass it to Tanya.
Oh, thank you both.
Okay, well, I want to start with, we want to thank the Roosevelt Supporter Club for Saturday. They did a cleanup along the parade route. They had over 50 students, parents, and volunteers help with cleaning up St. John's. They did an amazing job, so thank you for that. On the plaza, we have some really good news. I found out this morning that the clock that we replaced the domes on last year with one grant, it worked off and on, and then I received another grant for $2,000 for this year, and I contacted the National Association of Clockmakers or something like that, Portland chapter, and they have actually decided to adopt the clock. So that's really exciting. They're a nonprofit, so they will be replacing all the mechanisms for free, and all the boosters are going to pay for is all the materials. They will also be replacing the lights with LED lights because the current lights don't hold up to weather. So that's very exciting. So hopefully within the next few months, we'll have a working clock that will be maintained by an association that really cares about them. So that's pretty exciting. The other thing is that the boosters a couple of years ago had applied for a grant for planting the pocket park last year in May. We planted it. It looked beautiful. We had great volunteers in the community that watered and was very diligent about weeding and taking care of that plaza park. And by the end of the summer, 3/4 of the plants were gone. They were stolen and went missing. So I worked with PMO, and they have graciously worked with PBOT and the Parks Department, and they confirmed again this morning that they are going to be replacing the plants in the pocket park with mature plants and maintaining it for 2 years. So that is very exciting. The other thing is I want to draw your guys' attention to is the St. John's Boosters website at stjohnsboosters.org, and the under events and calendars is where we have our calendar, and it shows you all the events that we have going on. So in for the summer, in order to activate the plaza and activate the community, and for the businesses to show their thanks to the community, starting June 8th, every Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30, there is going to be game night in the plaza. And PBOT is actually going to be paying for the games because they're excited about activating the plaza. So we're going to have games like giant Jenga and cornhole to really cool board games. And each week will be sponsored by a different business. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Bring your families. And yeah, fun for all, great activation in the plaza on Thursdays. That's June, July, and August. As well, in June, on June 29th at 6 will be Dance United. That is on a Thursday, so there will be no game night that night because of Dance United. And then as well, if you look at the calendar, there's also knitting in the plaza. So Weird Sisters Yarn Store is doing knitting events in the plaza. So it starts off on Saturday, June 10th at 11 o'clock, Worldwide Knit Public Day. And then starting Wednesdays on the 14th at 5:30 p.m. in the plaza will be knitting. And that is again hosted by Weird Sisters. So the businesses are excited about, welcoming the community into the district and trying to help, bring everybody out. So I think that's what we got.
Perfect. Awesome. A lot of fun events. Really exciting. We're getting into spring and summer, the best part of the year. All right. Last but certainly not least, one last little update. We'll send everybody on their way. SJCO. I think we saw David on. Go ahead and kick it over to you, David, if you have some updates for the group.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Just wanted to say it's nice seeing everybody again. I've been out of town for a little while. We just had the first day of the farmers market, and I can honestly say it was probably the best day the farmers market has ever had. We had over 2,100 customers, and the vendors did quite a lot in sales. I can't say the exact number, but there's a lot. So thanks to everybody for your support and for help spreading the word. It's just been a really great start to the season. And I know we've got a lot coming up this next weekend. The farmers market is still going to be going on. There's some logistical things as we will put out some further information, but we don't expect it to be too much of an issue as far as vendors being able to get to the parking lot and all that stuff. So we've got a pretty good plan in place. But yeah, this should be a really good weekend. And yeah, that's all I've got. Thanks, everybody.
Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, I think then if that's everything, we can go ahead and wrap things up. So we're just 5 minutes over time. So I'll go ahead and we'll adjourn here at 8:35 p.m. But again, thank you all for coming and thank you for being on Zoom. And we'll see you next month. Same time, same place. Thank you.